All right, this is Joe from Equip to Endure. Adam already did the German Flecktarn half shelter, so Robbie and I put two of them together to see how it would work for the German style pup tent formation we have here. Now, we didn't look too hard into it just because of the amount of time that we had to set it up, but you'll notice here, of course, that there's this button system going on. It kind of took forever because there's two buttons for every button, so they interlock like that each time. So there's a button, there's a button, there's a button, there's a button. You have to adjust the ridge line, of course, and make it taut and tighter. You can't adjust how far out the angle goes. So if it's raining really, really hard or pushing down, you know, you'll have a lot of stuff here. You can't make it too taut when it's in this pup shelter formation. What I did like about it, though, was the room inside is pretty nice. I like using canvas stuff, so you can have it close to a fire pretty easily. You know, doing this with nylon or something like that will have bad consequences if you get some small embers or something on your nylon shelter, but this stuff is pretty fire resistant. On the inside, there's a little bit of room. You better be buddy if you're going to be crawling in here. There's definitely enough room for your dog, but if there are two people in here, you better be really close. Adam on the side of the camera is motioning for Robert to come in here, and I'm glad he shook his head. So that's good. You notice over here on the left side, and on the right side here, we took it out a little bit just to give it a little bit more of a change. That was one way that we were actually able to adjust this just a little bit instead of keeping it in a straight line. It gets really hot in this formation. It's a dark shelter, it's made of canvas. Does not breathe well, so don't put it out in straight light if you're going to try and camp under it, because it gets really hot. Definitely want to open up both sides to get a breezeway. I'm feeling it in here, and it feels at least 20 degrees warmer. So the really important thing about this is, why would you want it? It's the cost. I'm a cheap guy, so when I heard the retail cost of 15 bucks at an Army Navy store for a half of one of these, I could definitely see that. I mean, if you're a young kid, maybe 12 and under, and you want to build your own fort, no, do it the Army way. This is awesome. Would be a great investment. Doesn't deteriorate when it's out in the sunlight, so you can leave it up for like a month and a half or so, and not worry about it really deteriorating, except it may fade. You can see one side of this is a little bit brighter than the other side, so if you're shopping and you want to have that nice color, you know, you want to take them out and look at the color, make sure that both not faded. The tent poles here are these wooden U.S. Army tent poles. Of course, you can whittle your own to size and then use a taut line hitch to get the right pitch going on here, to get the right pitch going up here. Taut line hitch, pitch, that rhymes. These didn't hold up too well. Once pushed into the ground, they snapped right here because of dry rot. They're really old. Not much is made out of wood in the U.S. Army anymore, if that gives you an idea. All right, Adam, let's go over to this side and talk about the holes. As you can see here, there's improvised tent poles. We had to whittle them down to get into there. Once you whittle it down, it does not have a lot of integral strength. So Robbie fashioned a quick fix so you can use a much thicker tent pole. With the use of some cordage, putting it through both grommets, you can use a thicker tent stake that would not necessarily go through there. This is also handy with other tents too. When you're starting to set these up, it's important to note which side is enveloping the other. You can see right here, we started buttoning this down, and instead of having this top side underneath this other one like this, it kind of flipped over. If you're covering this up, chances are it's because of a rainstorm. You may have a little bit of drippage right here through the drip line that's coming up. Also, if you have to get out of here really quick, the button system isn't the quickest way known to man to get out of there. Maybe a bear, you may have a case of the runs or something. Trying to get out of this very quickly isn't nearly as fast, of course, as something like a zipper. So Adam told me to just try this as the lean-to version, and holy cow, am I impressed. For $15, I've got the setup that I really like. I like having a fire in front of my canvas tent, reflecting the heat in. This is really cool because it's dirt cheap. I can have the fire really close, and of course you can see I might get smoked out, but and because it's made out of a canvas material and not nylon, you don't really have to worry about burns so much. This is really cool for about 15 bucks. I'm definitely gonna go pick one up. You can see Chance Sanders' information about wearing this as a poncho too, and all the important aspects of that, and using this as a cache device, You can string up the middle too here if you want to as a ridge line. You can open out the wings a little bit more so you can have a little bit more air. Really cool setup in this configuration. If you want to adjust the pitch by pulling this out through the middle, you can use a rock, an acorn, or even a quarter stuck in the middle with a little bit of looseness and a piece of cord wrapped around the outside, and then pulling that backwards. You don't have to put a hole in here necessarily. So final thoughts altogether, this button system's kind of annoying. It goes together, but it's not quick. If you have arthritis in your hands or any type of hand seizing, doing this type of little tactile function with your hand will probably seize up. These buttons on the side here, it doesn't really fold up and roll up well. You'll have to try and make some kind of system where they come together like that. It's a good investment though, for maybe 30 bucks for 2 of them. I mean, you can't even get a fake tent from Walmart for that much. And this is something you can leave out in the yard for the kids to play with. They can pretend like they're in the military. Heck, you could even use it for paintball or something and shoot out of there if you wanted to. So that's a cool investment. So definitely here, the take-home message is price. It works very well as a lean-to. 2 of you together in a bad situation, maybe in a snowy situation where heat is an important factor, this is where this may come in handy. Of course, you can split this whole thing apart, put a fire in the middle and have a lean-to on one side and a lean-to on the other, and you might find that more applicable. And then you won't have to worry about these stupid buttons. So definitely check that out as well. Questions and comments, you can send to questions@equiptoendure.com. If you want to reach me personally, joe@equiptoendure.com. Check out our website. Basic membership is free. You get a little bit more of a bonus. If you become a premium member, you see a lot of footage there that's not normally on the internet. Remember, if you're not always prepared, you're never prepared.